What's up, everybody? It's Winning Wednesday. You already know the vibes. It's your girl, Brandi, Harvey. Drop where you listening from, where you watching from. It's Winning Wednesday. How y'all doing today? Good to see y'all. All my replay watchers, good to see you in the chat. Go ahead and drop where you listening from, where you watching from. It's Winning Wednesday. How y'all doing today? It's good to see you. It's cold. It's cold, baby. It's cold outside. Okay. I said I was not. A hoodie. That's all I had. Okay. A hoodie and my A-Town down hat. Okay. That's all I have for y'all today. But it's Winning Wednesday. Good to see y'all in the building. As my mother says, it's good to be seen and not viewed. Amen. Atlanta, Georgia's in the building. Cleveland, Ohio is most definitely in the house. It's Winning Wednesday. How y'all doing today? Good to see y'all. It's Winning Wednesday. Come on in. Drop in the chat where y'all watching from. Good to see y'all. It's Winning Wednesday. Y'all, this cold, listen, Atlanta said, y'all, we just gonna shut down for whatever. It's Atlanta. Y'all know we be on our own thing. So Detroit, good to see you in the building. Brooklyn's in the building. Good to see you. It's Winning Wednesday. But one thing for sure, two things for certain, it is freezing outside. It is freezing. So glad to see y'all in the building. It's Winning Wednesday. I said to Kiana, who is filling in for Nakia, because Nakia's on maternity leave, I said, Kiana, just go ahead and start, because I'm not gonna be up here. And every time I say I'm not gonna be before you long, what ends up happening, y'all, I end up getting on here running my mouth. But I wrote a few notes today so I could stay on subject, on target, on goal today. So y'all know, word for the year, Audacity All 2026. We are having Audacity All 2026. I just tell y'all, I am walking in a new, like, I just got this new walk, new talk, new vigor, new everything about me. Miss Sally, good to see you. Miss Smalley, good to see you. Tracy, good to see you. I have this new walk, this new talk, this new vigor about me. And I got to tell y'all, people notice it. And there are people coming up to me, like my concierge, she's like, I don't know what you're doing in this year, but I like you better than I did last year. My concierge said, I don't know what you're doing this year, but I like you better than last year. I said, amen. Bermuda's in the building. Good to see y'all. It's Winning Wednesday. I said, I respect that. Okay. I respect that. So listen, I do too. I like me better this year. Okay. It's something about me that I like better this year. And that man says, oh, look, people gonna have, as you have audacity, people gonna have audacity. They still gonna come up and say something to you that you didn't even know that they was gonna say to you. But one thing my concierge said to me is, he said, I don't know what you're doing this year, but I like you so much better than I did last year. You just got this glow about you. It's just something different about you. What you doing this year? I don't know, y'all. I'm just walking on sunshine. Good to see y'all in the building. It's Winning Wednesday. I'm just walking on sunshine. So I'm going to pose the question. If you were here taking notes in the chat, for all my note takers, what audacious thing did you do this week? What audacious thing did you do this week? Why? How? Tell me how you had some audacity this week. That's what we're doing. So before I get into a little message of the day, because I know I got a little message, not a big message, just a little message. I'm going to talk about the books I read this past week. All right. So y'all know, goal for the year is 100 books. Okay. 100 books. Now, this book, Sky Full of Elephants, we will be talking about this book next Wednesday during our Winning Wednesday / Elevate Book Club meetup next week. Same time, same place. You ain't got to find nothing. You ain't got to go nowhere. You ain't got to click no other link. You just going to come right here. Carly will be joining me on the show. She and I will be talking about Sky Full of Elephants. So you all can interact with us in the chat. You can feel free to drop your comments in. If you read the book, you want to talk about the book. If you ain't never heard about the book, we're going to talk about it. We're going to, of course, talk about some other things, some of the themes that are in this book. But next Wednesday, right here, same time, same place, we'll be talking about Sky Full of Elephants by Sibo Campbell. So Kiana has dropped in the chat. You can purchase the book. If you haven't, you can get it at our Amazon store and you can go ahead and join us. We'll talk about it next week. So you don't got to be like, do I need to come on camera? Do I have to show up for this? You can be wherever you are and we're going to talk about this book. And you can join in or you can be the Amen Corner, not saying nothing in the background. Okay. So next week, we got this book. Now, y'all know my goal for the year, I have set a goal to read 100 books this year. I set a goal to read 100 books this year. So guess what? That means your girl been having to read, y'all. When I say your girl been having to read, your girl has been having to read. That means my social media, my sister, Patrice, they sending me reels and stuff like, oh, did you see the reel I sent? No, I didn't, baby, because I have been trying to read down, okay? Your girl is in her reading era. So this book I finished on Saturday. I finished this book on Saturday, The God of the Woods. I finished it on Saturday. I didn't turn my notifications off on my phone, so let's just pray nobody calls me. I finished this book. Now, it's a pretty thick one. Like, it was over 500 pages. I finished this book, The God of the Woods. Interesting read, okay? Interesting read. I would give it like a 3.5. Give it a 3.5, 4, maybe 4. Okay. I like the language that she used in the book. I like the language. I like how the story was written. Multiple POVs. All right. So if you are not I can't deal with all these points of views, baby, this ain't for you. Multiple POVs, multiple different timelines. So at the beginning of every chapter, the author, Liz Moore, is going back over 14 years, right? Back and forth. So between 1961 and 1975. So multiple POVs, multiple timelines. You got to sometimes be like, okay, no, wait, what? Okay, I'm in 19. Okay. So, but I finished this and it was like, a highly recommended book. Is it just me without sound? I don't know. Y'all can't hear me? My mic is on. It's not saying that I'm having any issues. And I know that Kiana is communicating with me. So that means I am. Turn your volume up. Okay. Turn your volume up. Okay. All right. So if you like a little whodunit murder mystery, it's supposed to be like a psychological thriller. I didn't get like thriller per se, but it was a good like little whodunit. By the end, you were like, oh my God. So if you are, thank you. They said Fred Nakia said she can hear. All right. The God of the Woods. Solid read. Solid read. All right. So the other book that I read over the weekend, I did an audiobook. Now, somebody said to me, one of the coaches that coaches for honor, he was like, oh, and I think I was talking to my brother-in-law. They were like, well, Brandi, do audiobooks count? Let me just go ahead. Audiobooks count, y'all. I don't want y'all to say, I can't read, I can't sit down, I be moving around. Like, y'all, do not get in your feelings about this. Don't be like, well, I can't sit down and read all these hard copy books. If you like audiobooks, get into audiobooks. All right. Audiobooks count. All right. So I am trying to get into my urban romance fiction. Urban romance fiction books. Child, when I tell y'all, I be like, what do we be talking about? Sarah said audiobooks count. Audiobooks count, y'all. So I've been listening to like the romance novels, the little romance, little urban romance. It's always somebody named Menace, a Capone or something. You know what I'm saying? It's always some like crime family. And he's like, has all this money. He's mean. And then somehow his heart gets softened by this woman. So I did this weekend, though, I did Rhythms Blues. I did that one on audiobook. I'm currently in this book called 10,000 Hours with a Real Menace. That's why I said menace. If you love audiobooks but don't want to spend a ton, check out Libby. Thank you, Sarah. I was gonna say that, so I'm glad you mentioned that. For people who are like, they want to read books, but they're like, I'm not trying to spend all this money on Amazon. I'm not trying to spend all this money on Audible and get these books, and I want to listen to books, and I got to buy all these books. You do not have to. Get you a library card. If you have a library card, you can go on apps like Libby, you can go on Hoopla, and you can download audiobooks. You can check out books just like you do on the library. They can come to your Kindle. You can do audiobooks, all of the above. If you have a library card, and it's so simple. So the audiobooks that I've been listening to this week, I listened to oh, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. Come on, girl. Come on, show a little love. Okay, put a little offering in a plate, Sarah. Thank you. We love that. Okay. You guys, the library card is like such a great tool. Sometimes like, well, why I need a library card? I'll never go to the library. We digital. The library is digital. You can check books out if you are a Kindle reader. You can check out audiobooks via now the popular reads. Don't expect them audiobooks to be there. Okay. The popular ones, don't expect it. But hey everybody, Brandi, don't forget to take notes on what caught eye and your mind of the book. Okay. Say that to me one more time. Okay. Vernell, say it to me one more time. I don't know if I'm catching it. But so I'm listening to my urban fiction books on audiobook. I'm listening to the audio, so I'm in this 10,000 hours with a real menace. I'm only on like chapter, I think 12, listening to it. I finished Rhythms Blues, which is an urban romance novel. I finished that this weekend because when I got done with The God of the Woods, and it was very white, very like white characters, upper echelon white people. It was very white. It was a very white storyline because baby, none of this would have been black people. I'm just here to tell y'all, this wasn't gonna be no black people doing this at this summer camp and stuff. That this wasn't gonna be happening. So immediately I said, when I got done, I thought I was gonna go into this book. So I'm currently reading this. This is the hard copy book that I'm reading right now. It's called the hard copy book. This is called The Warmth of Other Suns. This book is so beautifully written. I see why it got every award. It got the New York Times Book Review, Best Books of the 21st Century. It got a National Books Critics Circle Award winner. It's the winner of the Pulitzer Prize. Baby, it's a book. This is a book. But so I haven't finished it, but I'm in it. So if you see I got my bookmark in it, and I've already started tabbing it. So I have started reading that book. So just know, but between the hard copy book that I'm reading, I also have an audio book that I'm reading, and that's the urban fiction romance with menace. Like the thing about urban fiction, and if anybody is watching this who listens to urban fiction or reads it, can you drop in the chat like a good one? Because what I'm like, sometimes with the urban fiction books, it just be like, and y'all know I love a good cuss. You know, I like a good cuss word. You know, I think it's like a little seasoned salt. It's like a little lemon pepper sprinkle when we do a little cuss. But y'all, sometimes they just be cussing for no reason in the book. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Now I'm listening to this on audio and I'm sitting up here like, well, why are you talking like that? Like, why are you talking so rough? Like, what are you doing? Brandi, where can I get your book? It's not on Amazon. My book is definitely on Amazon. My book is definitely on Amazon. That book is on Amazon, girl. Breakthrough Sold Separately is on Amazon. My book is on Amazon. And I believe you can get it on Target, Barnes and Nobles. I believe you can get it on any of those sites, but Amazon for sure. My book. Brandi, your goal is so good to read 100 books within a year. That's dope. My professor told me words are a world within itself. Learned a different word to broaden our language consistently. Oh my God, Treasures of Detroit. Let me just go ahead and say this. This is why I am so happy about this challenge. One, that I put it on myself. Two, that I'm really preparing myself to go back to school. Because y'all know, if you've been following me, you know I'm starting seminary in May. And so I'm really taking these next few months to really start to prepare myself to get back into study mode. So I'm taking so many hours out the day where I'm like sitting down to just read, to just take my mind and sit myself down. And they said loving Jonquil J. Jonquil J, that's who wrote 10,000 Hours. So I'm gonna come back. Hold on. I promise I'm coming back to this urban fiction. But the thing about it, why I'm like, I'm so glad that I'm forcing myself to just read these books, y'all, is because it is really helping my language. It is helping me. It's like I'm encountering words in the God of the Woods. It was a few words that I had to pull my dictionary out. I had to sit there on my phone. I was like, pronounce that. Look, hello. Like I was literally, and I was like, oh dang, okay. I've never heard that word before. So it just really has been forcing me to one, like step my language up in like different words that I'm using in basic conversation and not being afraid to use it, because the average person, we're only using a certain amount of words every single day in our vocabulary, in our word bank, right? 2,000 words. Most of us, 2,000 words are in the word bank. 1,500, some of us, some 1,000 words in the word bank that we consistently use on a regular basis. Imagine if we start putting so many different words into our mind. We get to have so many different storylines that our minds get to go to. It helps to shape how we approach relationship, conversation. It builds our currency as we go out and have conversations, because now all I'm asking people is, what you reading? That's all I'm asking. I'll be like, my concierge who works in the evening, my concierge, I'll be like, what you reading? What we reading? She asking me, because I said every time you see me, you should be like, Miss Brandi, what you reading? You should be asking me that. Listen, what you reading? Don't forget to take notes of what caught your attention of the book and why we're reading it. Oh, okay. Thank you, Vernell. I'm so glad. I'm gonna come back to that question. But so many things about words, so wonderful. It's like really stretching me in this season. I know, like, I'm not done with this book yet. I'm not done with this book. But y'all, I really think you should read this book. I'm not done with it, but baby, this one right here is beautiful storytelling. Beautiful storytelling, historical. It's about the Great Migration, the greatest migration that took place in the United States that was hardly ever documented or written about, the migration of Black people from the South to the North. And these three different families, where they went, and one went to New York, one went to Chicago, the other went out to California, and how their lives unfolded, leaving the Jim Crow South and leaving the terror of the South, and what their families and all these things. Beautifully written book. Love, 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 love. So that one. This one, it just felt like an escape read. Like it felt like something that I love the cover. I thought the cover was like, it really caught me in the bookstore. And it had the monthly pick from Barnes and Nobles. And then I started talking to the lady up in the store, and she said she was reading it. Excuse me. She said, oh, I'm reading this book. And she was like, she said, I'm 50 pages left. She said, and I was like, oh my God, I had to force myself to go to bed. That was why I bought this one. And I thought that it was a well-written book. This one was a well-written book. Sky Full of Elephants. The storyline is what captured me. I saw a girl on Instagram do a review, and I do get a lot of books off the Book Talk. I do go on Book Talk on the TikTok. I do go on Instagram, and I look at people's book recommendations, and I kind of go through some of their book recommendations, and that's how I pick. This is why I ended up picking The Warmth of Other Suns, because I looked at a couple people who had book recommendations, and I liked the other books that they were talking about. I was like, okay, I need to read that. So yeah. Thanks, Vaughn and Powers. I got it. Was getting the podcast title, not the book. Okay, I don't know where we are with the podcast title, but anywho, those are the books that I'm reading this week. Now back to loving Jonquil J, the one who was the author of one of these the urban fiction books. She has like multiple series, but I'm reading this 10,000 Hours with a Menace, baby, with a real menace. Child, Lord have mercy. But I do like, some of the little sex scenes, baby. I be like, I had to turn my speaker down. And I was listening to that other one, Rhythms Blues, and listen, I had to turn my speaker down a little bit. I was like, "Ooh, child." I said, "Cause somebody walked past my condo, they would be like, oh shit, Brandi." Now I'm sure they probably done heard some stuff before, but baby, I don't need people in my business like that, y'all. I don't need people in my business like that, okay, y'all. So anywho, that's what we're reading this week. Be sure to tell me. I think I saw another book. I think I saw somebody drop what they're reading in the chat. Who dropped what they were? Oh, don't forget to take notes. Hold on, y'all know I'm trying to keep them in the chat. Don't Brandi, can I get your book? What time is on the Wednesday? I don't know. Somebody had told me what they were reading. I don't know. Anyway, whatever you read, drop it in the chat. I didn't like the ending. Girl. The New Life 2013. I didn't like the ending of Sky Full of Elephants. Girl, me either. We're going to talk about this in depth next week. And wait till me and Carly dive into this. I did not either. I did not like the ending of that book. I listened to it on audio first. And I was listening to it. I said, I'm sorry. What? I said, y'all, the Sky Full of Elephants. Now, wait till me and Carly talk about this book next week. And we're not just going to talk about Sky Full of Elephants. We're going to also interject some other books that we're possibly reading too. But y'all, Sky Full of Elephants, I did not like the ending either. So, girl, you are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. I am here with you. I did not like the ending of that book. That book had me. I don't know about you, but it had me from the beginning of the book, the first page. Now, my little cousin yesterday was like, Brandi, I don't think I can get into this book. She was like, it was like something about the beginning of it I didn't really like. And I was just like, girl, I said that was a thing that drew me in. The first page of the book, they killed themselves, all of them, all at once. We unsealed the jails first. Folks showed up swinging boat. I was like, ooh, okay, where are we going with this? And but child, the ending of that book, I was sitting there, I had to rewind it like, I'm sorry, did I miss a part? I said, what did I miss? Hold on, what happened? I was like, did he had to turn that in. He had to turn that manuscript in, y'all. Like, he had to turn that in, because New Life, when we talk about this next week, I need you here in the chat, because literally the book has so many moments that it gave me pause. Like, I had to think about what would life be like if there were no white people. I was literally like, dang, like that's something to really think about, because how much we focus on the gays and politicking and moving throughout the world, how we have had to been taught to navigate throughout the world, even as children. We've had to be taught. We've been raised to move a certain way in the world, whether it be with law enforcement, whether it be with educators, whether it be people who are in higher up positions, when we've had to go in schools, all these different places, we've had to learn how to navigate, how to code switch, how to move with a level of duality in all of our lives. We've had to have that. And then poof, it's just y'all. What y'all gonna do? So all the things, we'll get into it more, because I'm going to reread the book this weekend. I'm going to reread it so I can have a fresh new perspective, because y'all, I went into this and I was like, I had pumped this book up so much before I even finished it. I was like, oh, I don't even need to finish this book. Like, this book, I know this is the book. I was like, oh my God, it got me so excited. And then when I got to the end, I was like, I know you lying. Oh, The Nightingale is really good. It's an emotional roller coaster, though. The Nightingale was so good by Kristen Hanna. That book was really good. That was another beautifully written story. I loved how the sisters, like that, the whole relationship with the sisters, and from their relationship as children with the father and being sent away and all this defiance. And then here comes the Nazi regime that we see so very vividly, of how history is replaying itself from slavery to the Holocaust to all these different times and spaces in history. This is nothing new that we have not seen before. But The Nightingale was a beautifully written story. And then the end of the book, of how it all came together and how she was honored at the, it was just wow. Like for her to be the Nightingale and not her sister was, it was a beautiful read. Kristen Hanna, wonderful author. My sister just finished The Women, and I said I was gonna, because she loved that book. And so I like Kristen Hanna though as an author. I really do like Kristen Hanna. I like her work. I like her writing style. I like how she works. So The Nightingale was a beautiful, and it's a beautiful looking book. It's a beautiful book. I did that one on audiobook over the summer because I would just, while I'm walking the park, I just listen to audiobooks. And so that one was really good. So thank you, my mommy wife life. Thank you for that recommendation. The Nightingale, if you're looking for a really beautiful story, it's a beautiful story. Okay. So now that we got the book talk, next week Harley will be here on the show. She will be live. So we're either going to be sitting here or we'll be in the studio. But she'll be on the show next week. We'll be talking about Sky Full of Elephants, and we will be announcing the book that we are going to discuss in March. You'll have a little over a month to get that book read, because I think our book club meetup will, the next one after February will be March like 13th or something like that. So yeah. So that's the book. We done books. We will come back to the book. Imagine that. Imagine that. Treasure, give me more than imagine that. I don't know what that is. So give me a little more. Elaborate in the chat for me. Trying something new. Now this is my message. Wait, before I do that, I'm gonna go back and say get your library card. Because this is gonna be this gonna lead into the try something new. Because my training partner last week, I was saying to her the other day, I said, oh, I took my sister. I said she went to go get her library card. She had to go pick up her library card. And I said, I needed to make sure I had the right pen because I wasn't able to log in. She was like, I'm sorry, you have a library card? And I was like, yeah, I have a library card. She was like, you go to the library? And I was like, yeah. And she said, what? Where is the library? She said, Brandi, I know I'm going to sound real crazy when I ask you that, but where is the library around here? And I was like, oh, I told her the library that I go to. And she was like, Brandi, she said, the sad part about this is I know where the bar is. She said, I can tell people where the bar is. I can't tell people where the library is. And she said, I want to change that. She said, I'm going to give me a library card. She said, because I want to do better. She was like, the fact that you know where the library is. I was like, yeah, like half of us vote at libraries, all these things. And thank you, Sarah. She said in most places you can get it online and you don't need to go in. You don't need to go in. You can sign up for it online. They also have, like, for the state of Georgia, they have like a Georgia card that you can get that'll carry you in multiple counties and all these things. But yeah, you don't. So thank you so much for sharing that. But try something new. My homegirl says to me, Brandi, I want to be more of a Renaissance woman. I want to get me a library card. I said, girl, we appreciate that. We love that. Step in the right direction. Because my nephew told my sister, like, I need my library card. And so he, he's getting his library card, all those things. And something that we don't even think about, a powerful step, a powerful action in our lives, right? How it inspires somebody else just by saying, oh, I got a library card. Most people are like, I ain't had no library card since I was a kid, right? But some of my fondest memories of childhood and the places that I feel the safest are when I needed something to do in the summer and my mom was at work and it was just me, my sister, and my little brother. We walked around to the library. And so that was where I spent so much of my time. When I was a teenager hanging out with the Fab Four, me and my homegirls used to call ourselves the Fab Four, Jessica, Heather, Brandi, and Carly. And y'all know what we did on the weekends? We would hang out at Barnes and Nobles. We would go get a cappuccino because we thought we was grown when we got a cappuccino, girl. I would get that cappuccino and we would go to Barnes and Nobles and sit in Barnes and Nobles for hours. And people used to think like, oh, them girls are corny. Yeah, we probably were corny to some people. We weren't able to go do some of the things and hang out in some of the places that other people got to hang out. but we fell in love with books, and we always loved books. And we would sit in there and we would go grab books and we would read the first pages, and we would go grab a stack of magazines, and we would just sit there with our little cappuccino with probably 6 packs of sugar in it. And I would sit there in my cappuccino and think I was like, dreaming of going, like, sitting in some cafe somewhere around the world. Who knows, but it gave me that outlet and it made me feel safe. Dion said, girl, my mom was a librarian. She would be side-eyeing you if you didn't have a library card. Girl, come on. Miss Gina said, I keep my library card up. Sarah said, Barnes and Nobles all day with hot cocoa was an absolute jam. Listen, y'all, I spent so much of my time as a teenager when I was driving. Like, yeah, we did stupid stuff and we went places, but for the most part on the weekends, we were at the mall. We were at the mall because my homegirl had a job at Nordstrom. So we used to go up in Nordstrom and, thought we was just so highfalutin, honey, because we was up in Nordstrom. And then guess what? And then we would go spend the rest of our evenings until Barnes and Noble's closed. We would be up there. And then when we weren't driving, Jessica's dad would come pick us up. Mr. Rambo would come pick us up in that white caddy. He would come pick us up. He'd be like, where y'all at? And we at Barnes and Noble's. He said, I'm on the way. And he would pick us up from Barnes and Noble. So all that to say, in this era, do something that's going to just put you out just a little bit, right? So I told you guys last week I started a new class. So I went to my first class. It's a mending class that I'm taking at the museum. It's a mending class that is learning like textiles, fabrics, like sewing, embellishments. It's like doing things like, so all of that is in this class. Now, y'all, I gotta tell y'all, Brandi, to elaborate on imagine that, I heard of a time of Black Wall Street. Oh, okay. I'm gonna come back to that, Treasure. Treasure, you keeping me on my toes, girl. Treasure said, I'm in the class. I'm being active today. Baby, I'm gonna make you think, Professor. Okay? Listen, Treasure is in the class. Okay? She's participating. Okay, so y'all take a note out because I gotta keep going to Treasure. Like, wait a minute, elaborate, Treasure. I don't know. What are we talking about, Treasure? Give me a little more insight, Treasure. Okay, so Treasure said she came to party. All right, she's a part of the class today. So, amen. Thank you. I will come back to that one, Treasure. So I start my new class last week. Now, let me just go ahead and tell y'all, because I know this is going to be the feeling that some of y'all get, because I got the same feeling. I get home last week, I'm moving around, I have other stuff to do, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to go to this class. And I'm like, why did I sign up for this class? I'm like, why did I decide to sign up for this class? I said, I do not want to do this. I don't want to have to get dressed. I don't want to have to go out in the middle of the day. It was raining so bad last week. I was like, why did I sign up for this class? And so all these feelings came over me like, why did I do this? So I pull up to the class, I get in the parking garage, and I tell myself, and I got there early. Now, your girl sometimes be heading on 2 wheels, but your girl was like, I need to be there early. I don't want no issues. I want to make sure I got a good seat, all the things. Because, we grown, okay? We're not little kids showing up. Like, we grown. We got to be like, I need the right seat. I need to be able to see. I need to be able to hear, all the things. So I tell myself when I'm walking into the museum, I'm like, you is smart, you is kind, you is important. Okay. I'm telling myself you are loving, you are wonderful, you are kind, you are curious, you are friendly. All the things I gotta tell myself as I'm going to this class, because now it's like, okay, damn, I really am trying something new. Why did I do this? Right? You second guessing yourself the whole step of the way. And I get in the class. Now, I knew it was a Black lady who was teaching the class. I knew it was a Black lady. So, that was also like, all right, like, okay, girl. So I walk in the class, I walk in the room, and I walk in, I'm like, oh, hey, how y'all doing? Oh, everybody excited for the class? Like, I walk in like this. So y'all be thinking like, oh, is that how she really is? No, like, she really is that way in real life. Like, y'all are getting the real. So, y'all, Dion, I really cannot make this up, y'all. I'm sitting up here like, So I walk in, I'm like, hey, y'all. I was like, oh, how y'all doing? So the teacher is at the door, like close to the door. So when I came in, she was like, hello. And I gave her a hug. I was like, hey, how you doing? I'm Brandi. And so she was like, hey, Brandi, how you doing? She said, oh, girl, you smell good. You know, I love people tell me I smell good. So, you know, I was like, so the girl in the class, I mean, wow, you smell really good. Like, you just like, woo, you came in. So I love that, you know, great compliment, you know, like, oh, your girl smells good. So she was like, ooh. So I came in, I find a seat in the middle, like the middle of the room. Like I'm looking at the demo table because, you know, I surveyed it. I said, okay. So I sit at the table with this girl, white lady, and she was like, I was like, hey girl, what's up? How you doing? So she was like, hey, so, you know, sitting there waiting. Sylvia, she said, just join. Where you been? Girl, we been here. The class started at 2:30. Girl, we been here since 2:30. I be here every week. I been here. Been on, wipe me down. So, y'all, I'm sitting in there. So I'm sitting up here like, okay, I feel at ease because I'm seeing the teacher. She moving around, looking at stuff. She got hung up on the wall. I'm taking everything in because I'm extremely observant. So I'm sitting there. So in the moment she starts the class, she says, whew, she said, she said, let's just take a deep breath. She was like, I do breath work. She said, I believe in breath work. I know the power of breath. And she said, let's just take a minute and do some breathing. She said, because 99% of the time, she said, it is not for you. It is for me. And she said, so let's just center ourselves, feet flat on the floor. And she led us in a quick breathing exercise. I said, I am right where I'm supposed to be. I am right where I'm supposed to be. Because you know how you will have all these moments and you fret and you like, oh my God, why did I do this? Now I got to go in all a couple hours of the day. I'm all up in the middle of the day. Why did I sign up for this shit? What made me sign up for this shit back in the weeks ago? Like, why did I do this? Y'all, I am so happy I went to this class. Now, y'all, the class is 4 weeks. So I got 3 more weeks of the class. So I'm gonna keep y'all posted on what's going on. But when I tell you, she started off with breath work. We ended up going to see the exhibit at the Victor and Rolf exhibit. We took notes, like we had to, like, she gave us time to go do that. And then we came back, we dyed fabric. We did all type of, started doing we dyed our own fabric. You know, I did this whole thing. I was so inspired by the book, The Warmth of Other Suns, the title of it, that was kind of how I had in my mind, like how I want to dye my fabric. All of this was happening. When I say I stayed to the very end, like it was me and two other soul sisters. It was 2 of us who stayed with the professor I called a professor, but I stayed in the class all to the very end. And we just like, I literally, y'all, I was sitting there like, this is the most therapeutic, this is the best thing I could have done for myself for the next month. Because I said, this is my art therapy for the next month. I'm a very creative person. I've always loved art. I've always excelled in art, whether it's sculpture, whether it's painting, since I was a little kid. And I never really leaned into it, right? Because I'm like, okay, you don't think about that as your option. Even growing up as like an artist, like, but I had pieces that were shown at the Cleveland Museum of Art. I got into this like scholastic competition that my art teacher put me in just because I did a beautiful mask, a sculpture. Like I just got so into it. One of the sculpture pieces that I made, she was like, I know you're about to graduate. Can I keep this to show the next classes that come in? And I ended up doing this like pyramid. I made a pyramid and told the story of the creation on each side of the pyramid. Your girl always been Afrofuturist, just know that. And so this class, y'all, when I tell y'all this class just, it invigorated me. It made me feel so at peace. It made me feel so good that I made this decision. By the time I left about here, I was skipping up out that class show. I was like, I cannot wait to come back here next week. And so I was so excited about it. So I'm telling you, in 2026, in 2026, have the audacity to try something new. Try something new, y'all. Have the audacity to move in a different direction, to do the unexpected, to walk a road less traveled, to go into a place where nobody thought that you would ever walk into. If you can do that in this era of your life, I promise you something is going to shift. Something is going to shift in your mind, in your emotions, in your relationships, in your heart, in your future. There is something that is going to shift. And I was just so happy because just like you are sitting in a place sometimes and you're like, why did I do this? And you feel this level of anxiety and you feel like, why am I even stepping out here? Why did I decide to put myself out there? And then the moment you get into it, you're like, God is like, this is why. Y'all, there is something so like to trust yourself in this season, to trust yourself to do something new, to trust yourself to explore, to trust yourself that you can try something. And if you're not the best at it, another thing I said this week, I told myself I want to learn line dances. Now your girl can, I got a little 1-2. I can pick up a little choreography. I was on the step team. I was on, I performed. I did all that kind of stuff, growing up. So your girl been on dance teams, all of that stuff, right? So y'all know I be kind of like at some of the parties, like I don't know some of these new line dances, right? I don't be knowing some of these line dances. But the trail ride dances, I said I really want to learn a trail ride dance. Like I be wanting to learn. So I put on YouTube because we were snowed in this week, snowed and iced in Atlanta this weekend. And I said, I went on YouTube and I said, I'm gonna just focus on one line dance that I said I really wanted to dance, wanted to learn. And what did I do? I sat down, I put on YouTube, I rewound it, kept rewinding, and your girl learned the line dance this week. I am on this mission of just like, stop saying that you don't know how. Stop saying that you suffer with your lips poked out because you don't know how when you ain't never tried. Stop sitting over here with your arms folded, looking at somebody else who ain't afraid to live their life, who not afraid to get on the dance floor, who not afraid to go in and step into the arena, who are not afraid to get out there, get hit, get knocked down, and get back up. Stop looking at folks mad because you refuse to step out of your comfort zone and try something new. Don't be looking at nobody in 2026 mad and side-eyeing them because they have the freedom, they have had the audacity, they have had the spirit, they have had the gumption, they have had the ambition, they have had the know-how and the wherewithal. And you sat up and sat on your hands and folded your arms and all you did was talk shit. We not doing that. If it's something you want to learn, if it's as little as a line dance, go learn it. If it's as little as let me go read a new book, go do it. If this is small or as big as let me go take a class and try to figure out something new. Let me go do something new in my life. Imagine what would happen. Now, don't get me wrong. The people in the class, some of the people, I know they weird. Some of the people weird, that's okay. You're going to be surrounded by people that's weird. When you try something new, you're gonna be surrounded by people you would never go hang out with these people. They ain't in your vicinity every day. Some of these people look thrown off. That's okay. You there to get something that don't have nothing to do with them. Just like they there to get something that ain't got nothing to do with you. You just have to step out of your comfort zone. Quit being mad, quit having an attitude because somebody else said, let me go be free and go try something I ain't never tried before. Now you somewhere like, who she thinks she is? She too old to be out there dancing like that. She too, I don't like the fact that she thinks she think everything she thinks she is. And everything you think about her, baby, is true about you. Let me see what y'all talking about in the comments. Yep, I done rediscovered my passion. They say embrace your gift, girl. God knows the plan He has for you, Brandi, and everyone else. Miss Molly said, Brandi, I ran my first 10K last week. Come on, first 10K last week. That is so major. I have never run a marathon, a 5K, a 10K, baby, a 2K, honey, mad at me, 2K. I ain't never got that. So that is a beautiful thing. She said, Winning Wednesday podcast, and it carried me to the finish line when you were speaking straight to me on the podcast about not worrying about my age. Come on. That inspires me so much. 10K, your first 10K, that is big. Come on. That's my like DJ cat. That's my DJ. Okay. They said, I want to learn boots on the ground line dance. Now, Miss Sylvia, I have not learned boots on the ground, but I said this weekend, I think I might let me go ahead and do it. Y'all know why I want to learn boots on the ground too? It wasn't at the forefront. I like the little sexy dances. You know what I'm saying? I like a little, ooh, when I'm thinking about you. You know, I like a little like, okay, give me a body roll. Y'all know I need a line dance with a body roll. Okay. So, but I want to learn boots on the ground, y'all, because I was at Route 100 and they had the man who sing Boots on the Ground. What's that? 803 Fresh or whatever his name is. I think his name is 803 Fresh. Y'all, he performed. And my line sister, Ashley, who she's going to be on the show, she come off the stage. She doing boots on the ground with the man. She doing like this to me and my line sister, Shayla, like, come on, because she know we like to dance. I don't know boots on the ground. Okay, all I knew how to do was hit the fan and hit my hip. Okay, so I didn't even know it. So Miss Sylvia, I'm going to learn boots on the ground with you. Okay, so next week I'm going to come back with my boots on the ground report. So I got it. I'm going to do boots on the ground with you, Miss Sylvia. She said, I sold for Shinola a watch brand in Detroit. I love it. I'm continuing my education in that area. Oh, Treasures in Detroit. I love that. I love that watch company. They make beautiful timepieces. So I'm so happy about that. Miss Molly says she passed her EA certification last week. Oh my, look at y'all. Y'all out here, honey, winning. It's Winning Wednesday. At 62, I'm doing big things. Thanks, Brandi and the Winning Wednesday family. Come on. This is y'all. Come on. All I do is win, no matter what. And then every time I'm gonna drop one of y'all little things. Okay, I'm gonna drop one of the things. Miss Molly said she taught sewing in her 20s. Sarah said, gonna tell us that fragrance that you got compliment. So y'all, Sarah, you is relentless. Sarah said, okay, I asked you earlier what you be wearing. So the fragrance that got me these compliments, I actually layer them. So I layer those. I know y'all, I have some expensive fragrances like the Initios and the Killians and all that kind of stuff, right? I have all those kind of fragrances, the MFKs, all of that. You know what be giving me the most compliments when I wear it? Lattafa, them fragrances on the TikTok shop, when they be doing like, you can buy them off Amazon for like 30, they have the real beautiful bottles and all that. They make a lot of dupes. I wear two fragrances. One is Eclair, which I put a base oil of Eclair on like almost everything. I am a gourmand girl. So I like gourmand. Think Angel Share, you know, those kind of fragrances. I like anything Tonka, you know, like leathery, you know, smoky. I like those kind of fragrances, but I like gourmand. So I like a sweet fragrance. So Eclair is one. And the other one, I can't think of, I don't know what the name of it is. It comes in like, it's almost like the Angel Sheer dupe. But I layer those. And it's Lattafa. So I'm not gatekeeping. I am not gatekeeping. Okay, y'all. I am not gatekeeping. So yes, those were the fragrances. I had on Eclair, and then the one that's in a square, like square, is kind of looks like Angel Share, Kamara or something like that. Maybe it's like one of those. Very boozy, very sweet. Like, you know, it's gonna have a little bit of like, you know, like seductive kind of fragrance, like very much a winter fragrance. I do like those. I like stuff that's very, very like sweet and seductive. Very much Brandi. Okay. So but yeah, so y'all try something new. This class has just really got my creativity going. It got me to be like, to just slow down. Like for a few hours, that one day a week, I get to just slow down and just not think about anything else. I just get to be. And I think that so often we think that those moments are not afforded to us, especially as women, especially as Black women, where we are carrying all these different crosses and wearing all these different capes, and carrying everybody across the finish line and making sure everybody is fed and seen and loved and nurtured and cared for and alive and well. We have all these things that we have to do. And it is a beautiful thing if you are able to just take some time and it's just yours. And so for that 3 hours that I have blocked off on my schedule, I am leaning into that 3 hours of just learning something new and being with myself. And I think for everybody watching today, if that is the thing that you have not been able to do, if you're like, Brandi, I can't even afford to turn around good up in here by myself. I want you, maybe you don't have 3 hours to give to a class, because I know that I am single and child free, and baby, it's a lot of free. Okay. It's a lot of free. It's a lot of freedom over here. Everybody does not have that same thing. My sister don't have that cannot say the same thing. You may not have 3 hours, that you can give to yourself, but 30 minutes. But 60 minutes, 1 hour of the day, 4% of the day, you have that. You have 20 minutes that you can give to just yourself, where don't nobody need to talk to you. I am on D&D, do not disturb, for the next however many minutes or however many hours. If you could just allow yourself to have that one day a week, if you could allow yourself to have that at certain parts of the day, imagine how much better you will walk into spaces. Imagine how much more recharged you would be. Imagine how much better you would feel about who you are. Because half the time, we got so much stuff that's bogging us down and weighing us down that ain't even our stuff. We ain't even bogged down by our shit. We bogged down by somebody else's stuff. What did Toni Morrison say? In order to fly, you got to get up the shit that weighs you down. In order to fly, you're going to have to give up the shit that weighs you down. And in this season, some of y'all are going to have to give up some stuff in order to take your freedom. Some of you are going to have to learn something new to take your freedom. Some of y'all are going to have to try something new to take your freedom. Your freedom is in your hands. Somebody in the comments last week in my episode with Lisa Comber, Sarah, you on it. Sarah, you're the TA. Sarah, you gold star for Sarah. Okay, gold star for Sarah today. Okay, Sarah is on it. Sarah is dropping. She damn near about to drop Latafa links in there. Okay, I should be doing a TikTok live right now. The way Sarah over here in these comments, baby, she is over here gathering, getting, and making sure the people know what's going on. So Sarah in the comments has dropped the fragrance. Okay, she has dropped one of the fragrances. Okay, so Sarah, if you find the link, baby, drop it. Okay, Sarah's on it. But I want to tell y'all this story, and then I'm probably gonna get my butt on up off of this today. So if you hadn't watched my episode with Lisa A. Smith, if you haven't watched, Vernell said, also, you can wake up 30 minutes earlier to do you. Okay. She said, look, if you feel like you ain't got no time, baby, you can get up a little earlier. Okay. Vernell said, some of y'all is too busy laying in the bed. You need to get your ass up. Okay. So you can get hot to it. Okay. Some of y'all freedom is tied to you getting up out the bed a little earlier. Listen, Sarah said, I'm supposed to be paying attention at your job. Sarah, your ass is not, Sarah, you were in the class. You're the head of the class, baby. You're at the head of the class. You're the TA today, Sarah. You didn't come here looking for an assignment. Amen. You didn't come here with no expectations. But Sarah, because you have shown yourself approved, honey, you are the TA for the day. Okay. So, boop, boop. All right. Let me say this. If you have not watched my episode with Lisa A. Smith, it dropped last week. If you have not watched it, I implore you to go watch it. It's one of my favorite episodes that I've done. And here is why. Thank you so much, Kiana. Kiana said, Sarah, you will not outshine me on my good Black job. Kiana said, Sarah, fall back. I got the links. Okay. Kiana said, baby, I'm here, present and accounted for. So Sarah, get your ass back to your job so you don't get fired. Okay. So you don't even have to do that. Kiana said, I got this. Okay. So Kiana then dropped the link to the Lisa A. Smith episode. If you have not watched it, I want you to watch it. And here is why. Because in that, Sarah, now see where we go wrong is sometimes every job is not a paid assignment. And man, Sarah said, does this job come with a check? Sarah, smile. Sarah. Some of the best positions are volunteer. Okay. I'm gonna leave some of the best work you'll ever do in your life is volunteer work. Amen. All right. So we're just gonna leave that there, Sarah. So if it's too much, we're looking for a specific kind of worker here over on YouTube. We're looking for somebody who's willing to give of themselves, not necessarily get a check. Okay, you're doing it from the love. What would you do for free, Sarah? What would you do for free? Amen. What would you do for free? So anywho, I love you back, girl. So I'm glad you're here. Okay, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you showed up to class today. If you didn't watch my episode with Lisa A. Smith, I want you to watch it because in that we talk about radical obedience. We talk about so many things about health and wellness that it is such an overarching theme that I want to take and carry as we continue to build and grow Vault Empowers, right? Of like, how are we having conversations that make people well from the inside out, that make people well in every area of their life? Because even one of the things, the tenets that Lisa said about living a really full, vital life, one of the tenets that she gave was intimacy. She talked about having love and intimacy, of course, tapping into your purpose, but these are the things that make you live a fulfilled life. And somebody in the comments, she said, but I don't volunteer for nada. I know that's right, girl. Well, don't drop no links, Sarah. She said, I don't do for free. I know that's right. So don't drop nothing else. Okay. Don't drop nothing else here. Okay. Besides your love and emojis. Okay. Don't drop nothing else in the chat. So one of the things that I picked up in the comments, because I do go through the comments, y'all. I do read the comments. Like when the interview first drops, I do kind of gauge, like, okay, what are people saying about the interview? What are they talking about? So somebody and everybody was like, man, this was so great. I needed this. Wow, she was speaking to me. Oh my goodness. I needed radical obedience. This is my first time even watching the show. Wow, I was drawn here. I don't know why I came here, but I came here for this. All the comments. Now, of course, we always zero in on the one comment that be like, of all the things. So somebody writes in the comments said, now, mind you, I filmed this episode back in November. I just want y'all to know that episode got filmed in November before Thanksgiving. And so I had just applied to seminary. I hadn't even gotten my official letter that I had been admitted. I was just speaking as though it was already happening because I already knew in my heart that I was going to get in. Not one time do I mention that I'm I'm a church person. I go to church. I'm in the church. I ain't never said that, right? In that interview, the lady says in the comments says, it's just always something about, and I'm paraphrasing, it's just something that always to me about people who say they in the church and then they use profanity. I said, oh, here. And I stay out the comments. I try not, I really don't respond. Lisa was very good at responding to so many people in the comments. I really stay out the comments. I very, very rarely do I respond. But I responded to this lady. I have not even gone back to see if she said anything because I could care less. I left my comment and I never went back. She said, church people who get up here and then they want to cuss, use profanity. It just always is like, she did this whole little whatever. And I said, Nobody ever claimed to be a church person in this interview. But what we did claim to be is teachers, healers, freedom fighters, and purpose leaders. That's what we both claim to be in that interview. A teacher, a healer, a freedom fighter, and a purpose leader. Now, do I go to church from time to time? Yes, I do. Do I like a good sermon? Yes, I do. Did I grow up in the church? Yes, I did. Have I been baptized and washed in the blood? Sure, I did that too. Here is what I want you. Am I going to seminary? Yes, check. Going to seminary. But here's what I want people to understand. You will miss so much in your life focused on somebody saying a profane word. You will miss so much points of interest and points of intrigue and points of entry and beautiful experiences in your life because you have closed off to one little moment. Oh, they said a cuss word. I can't believe church people. No, let me help you understand. I don't claim to be a church person. What I do claim to be is a teacher, a healer, a freedom fighter, and a purpose leader. And here's why I use those words to describe me, because I know that my assignment is to help break the captives free. And you know what the captives need to be free? Because there's a 62-year-old woman in this chat today that said, I did my first 10K. Thank you for winning Wednesdays. Thank you for encouraging me. Thank you for pushing me. I use the end of that to push to the next level. Baby, I just helped break somebody free to unlock a new level in their life. So when somebody want to tell you, well, I don't understand because baby, you used a word I didn't like. Baby, hey, you caught up on the wrong thing. I'm headed on to a bigger assignment because part of my assignment is to break the captives free. And if you think Harriet was on the freedom trail telling these people like, oh, if you could just move. No, she said, move your ass. No, Harriet wasn't on the freedom trail telling people, oh, could you just possibly think about moving over here? No, she said, get your ass in line or I will shoot you dead because I'm on an assignment. Some of y'all get so caught up on the wrong thing. Some of y'all so focused on what somebody, she used profanity. Some of y'all need a good cuss in your spirit for y'all to click and get in the gear. Some of y'all need to be told in a way, maybe I'm not your teacher. Because in this classroom, sometimes we use a little profanity. But it don't take away from the fact that I'm a teacher, a healer, a lover, a daughter, a nurturer, a person who knows how to push and encourage. I know that I'm all of those things because I carry that. I don't need you to get caught up on, oh, she a church person. Okay, you out of all that, that's what you took. Out of all that, you took, church people and cussing. I ain't never claimed to be church, but what I did claim to be is a teacher, a healer, a freedom fighter, and a purpose leader. Because when you come around here, I'm going to help free your mind. I'm going to help get you out of the bondage that food got you trapped in. I'm going to get you off the couch so you can understand that movement is your medicine. I just came to tell you, maybe you should drink a little more water. Maybe if you use your body and moved your body today, maybe if you gave a damn about how you showed up and how you treated people, you wouldn't be worried about if somebody used a cuss word. You would be worried that, wait a minute, I just heard a chain break in the background. Y'all so worried about a cuss word that you forgot, wait a minute, in the middle of me cussing, there was a chain that got broken. In the middle of me saying something that seemed a little loud and seemed a little too in your face, in the middle of that, somehow somebody just got free. But some of y'all so stuck on the wrong thing. I can't stand when church people, them, because you was in the comments about that dress. We know, girl. I hope you in the comments as loud about it when they come knocking on your door. I hope you're so loud about profanity then. I hope you're so loud about profanity when people knock on your door and ask to see your papers. I hope you're so loud. Y'all worried about the wrong stuff. If we sat up here and literally, if we said, wait a minute, I don't care what you said, what was the message? Hold on, you worried about because a damn or a hell came out my mouth or a shit, or I dropped an F-bomb, or I called somebody MF? Some of y'all act like that. Straight like that. Some of y'all need a little bit. Now I try not to do too much. Like I don't just be using them just let me just cuss. You know, like come on now. I'm an educated woman. I have a strong vocabulary. But we worried about it. Just made me so. It's just when people in the church cuss, use profanity. Ugh. Okay, baby, we ain't claim to be that. But what these two black women who sat up and had this conversation from a vulnerable, very honest, very real, no pretense, withholding nothing. And you worried about a cuss word, you focus on the wrong thing. I'm not for you. You're not in my class. I'm not. When I go into become a professor, y'all, when I go up and I start teaching at the university level, when I start teaching, they're going to be like, it's going to be a wait list for my class because everybody going to want to get in the class. Going to be, that girl for real, the way I teach. But if you think if you think you're going to come in here and you're not going to hear a profanity, what? Child. That's all I'm trying to say. So all of y'all who are listening, just know that sometimes, I do get you are going to get a little cuss bomb here or there. But I am very clear on my assignment. I am very clear on what my assignment is in the earth. I am not looking around. I'm not asking nobody what you think I'm supposed to be doing, what you think I'm supposed to be saying, how you think I'm supposed to be acting. I'm not asking nobody. I got the divine download of what my assignment is. Every day I walk the earth. I am very clear. I am here to set the captives free. And what that means is I'm helping people free their mind, that they could think another way. I'm here helping them to see a different perspective about their life. Every time you turn on Vaught Empowers, you say, wait a minute, I ain't even see it like that. Man, that got me to think about something different. I would have never learned that. I would have never understood that. I would have never learned that story. I saw so much in myself. I saw something that was new. You got me to think about something. I'm just here to break the captives free. I'm just here to serve as a healer because I know what it's like to walk around unhealed. I know what it's like to walk around angry and depressed and not be able to have no language for it and give no voice to it. I know what it's like to feel less than, feel not good enough, feel like you're not worthy, and to be able to overcome it. Baby, I got some purpose in my hand. So when I tell you that I'm very clear on my assignment and you want to jump in the comments about a cuss word, you're not my student. You're the person I would have left on that freedom trail because you got mad because I cussed at you and told your ass to get in line. You would have been mad. I would have shot your ass there. I would have put you, I had to put you down. I had to leave you there. I didn't want to say shoot because YouTube would have been like, oh my God, violence, community report and all. Okay. Whoo, child. All I'm saying is, here it is. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah said, I was not paid, but I will pay. Okay, come on. Listen, you worried about the wrong stuff. Some of y'all need to be reminded as you try something new and you have more audacity this week. Some of y'all got to remind y'all, let me remind y'all, it's okay. Some of y'all going to have to use a little bit of audacity. Y'all going to have to cut some of these folks out. Some of y'all gonna have to use a word to back some folks up off you, let them know you pressure out here. Some of y'all gonna have to use a word that maybe they're not used to hearing. Maybe it hurt somebody's ears a little bit, but wait a minute, honey, I'm on an assignment, so it might hurt your ears because it wasn't meant for you. But the person who was meant for it, baby, they got it and they clocked it. And they said, let me go on and run on and do what I'm supposed to do. I got a 10K in my spirit that I didn't know I had last year, but because somebody broke me out of my change, I said, let me start running in a way I ain't never ran before because I got free. Somebody said I read something new and I learned something new and I changed the way I was eating, Brandi, and I lowered my A1C and I got my blood pressure together and I started moving different and I finally got down and started playing with my grandkids, Brandi, because I listened to what you was talking about that day when you had Dr. Bobby on your show and then when you had Lisa A. Smith on your show and they sat down and talked about the beauty of plants and how I could change my life and my destiny and I could live a little longer. Thank you, Brandi. Oh, I just heard some chains breaking, but here you are talking about a cuss word. We over here trying to get Black people free and you talking about somebody cussing. Shut your ass up. The hell, we over here, we are in a fight of our lives still in 2026 and you talking about somebody cussing. Shut the hell up. Now run that back. Listen. Look, Sarah said, I'm going to go work out today because of this. Come on. I'm going to be in that class. Come on. Some people need to get cussed. Come on. Listen, listen, listen. Miss Molly said she should have heard the part about radical obedience. Baby, missed it. Because there are going to be people who are just looking to find a problem. It's so many people out here just looking to find a problem and so few looking to form a solution. Let me go ahead and leave y'all with this. Effective people starve problems and feed solutions. Effective people starve problems and feed solutions. If you are not bringing a solution, you are a perpetuator of a problem. If you are not feeding the solution, if you're not feeding the solution, you feeding the problem. If you're not starving the problem and feeding the solution, I have nothing to discuss with you, because there is always going to be somebody looking for a problem, looking for something to nitpick at, looking to I know it's something. I can't find nothing else. Because ain't nothing else wrong. I can't talk about nobody. I ain't got nothing else to say. So I gotta find something that I can put my little critical eye to. Oh yeah, church people and cussing. Girl, you sat through that interview and that was your takeaway. You are a clown. You a clown. Girl, why am I? Bozo? Your big nose, big red nose. Bozo the clown. The hell? You sitting up here out of everything that was said. And you pick on that. You're the problem. Effective people starve problems and feed solutions. So as you go out this week and be a little bit more audacious, and you step out your comfort zone a little bit this week to try something new, to read something new, to experience something new. When you come back here this week, this next week, next Wednesday, you're going to say, Brandi, there was a problem, but I had a solution because I'm an effective person. I saw something. I saw that there could have been a problem, but I was so focused on solutions, I didn't even give clearance to the problem to show up. I didn't give them clearance to show up. I was making way for the solution. Some of y'all keep making way for the problem and not making a way for the solution. So as you become more audacious this week, you're going to step out with a little more audacity. You're going to give in to something new this week. You're going to starve a problem and you're going to feed a solution, and you're going to watch your life open up. You're going to starve a problem and feed a solution. You're not going to zero in on what the problem is. You're going to say, wait a minute, I don't even know what that is. I can only focus on what the solution is. Imagine how your life opens up. Watch how your life changes in every single way. Because effective people starve problems, feed solutions. It's Winning Wednesday. New episode tomorrow, 10 a.m. Vaughn Powers Talks. Another good one for the books. My homegirl Dietrich. I didn't say that. That's the book we're talking about. That's not what I said. Tomorrow we will be talking about this book on the show. That's not what I said. With my good friend Dietrich Giles, and so I'm excited to have her on the show. It's Winning Wednesday. You already know the vibes. It's your girl Brandi Harvey. Today, because of who you are with your audacious self, you're gonna eat well. You're gonna give a damn, and you're gonna move your body. Until next time, it's Winning Wednesday. I'm your girl Brandi Harvey. Peace. Thanks.